Have you ever heard of television shows such as CSI, Monk, or even Bones? These three television shows deal with forensic science. Within the television shows, they all work together, all the loose ends are always tied up, and within that 1 hour period, they get their bad guy. In real life, it doesn't always happen like this. It can take weeks, months, even years to get results, and they don't always catch their bad guy. Today we're going to talk about 3 different branches of forensics: forensic anthropology, forensic odontology, and forensic psychology, or forensic behavioral science. In forensic anthropology, you can either determine the cause of death or the identity of a person. To determine the cause of death, they can look for knife marks, they can look for gunshot wounds, or other causes of death. When they look at remains, they can also determine the identity by determining the age, the gender, the height, the weight, and even the ethnicity. Now, after they've determined all this, they can serve as an expert in court, and they can help the jury to determine if the murder suspect is guilty or not guilty. Forensic odontology is the second branch of forensics we're going to talk about today. In the 1800s, this branch was invented, and it's still widely used today. A forensic odontologist can look at a person's skin or a bite mark on a person's skin, and they can compare it to the bite mark of a suspect, and they can determine if that's a positive match. If it is, that's probably your murder. They can look at oral cavity trauma and determine if there's a cause of death in the oral cavity. And they can also look at dental records to help positively identify a person if the forensic anthropologist can't. They work together, and through either one of them, they'll definitely identify the person. Forensic psychology or forensic behavioral science is the third branch we're going to talk about today. It's much less dramatic than you see on the television shows. In Bones and other TV series, they always can tell what the person's thinking. They know who the suspect is, their age, who they're going to be. In real life, it's not like this. A forensic psychologist or behavioral scientist, they will usually work in a court of law. They will determine the competency of the person, the suspect. They can determine if they're mentally ill or if they're just faking that to get a lesser sentence or to avoid the death penalty. They can look at an abused child and determine if they're going to be involved in the criminal system when they get older. And they can also determine the likelihood of a repeat offender. Now, today we've discussed forensic anthropology, forensic odontology, and forensic psychology / forensic behavioral science. I hope you have a better understanding of forensic science in these 3 points, and I hope you don't always believe what you see on television, because sometimes it's an exaggeration like it is with these 3 shows.